Can you tell me more of the personnel changes in the behind the scenes in '94? Sort of the state of the business when you and Jimmy started having a bit of friction together.
Yeah. So, well, like I said, when things started going down, business started going down, houses weren't drawing that spring of '94, through that summer of '94, as much as we would have liked. And he's scrambling to bring in talent. I mean, he booked Jake Roberts. Great. Wonderful. Jake won't come to the goddamn shows. He won't show up for work. He booked Chris Walker, who is this meathead out of Texas, who was a nothing. I mean, he just had a look. And he booked him. I think that guy maybe did one TV and then he never showed up. So we just couldn't. We went from the year before to not being able to do anything wrong to not being able to do anything right. It was like this, just one misstep after another. Then he brought in the Gangstas, which I love Jack and I love Saeed. More than any other talent, they contributed to the downfall or the decline in the house show attendance. I think the Gangstas killed our business.
But it wasn't their fault. I mean, they were taking Jimmy's orders and just turning it up to 11. So it wasn't their fault. They were following directives.
Right. It wasn't that what they were doing under Jimmy's directive is what turned the people off, as much as, this is the part of the country with the Hatfield and McCoys, generational grudges. I don't know that some of those back towns we went into, in the way up in the hills of Kentucky, if those people had ever seen a live black person, I don't think they'd ever seen one. So they have this generational attitude, this racism towards them. I explained it to Bruce like this on New Jack's one time. Any Jimmy Cornette, Tammy Fitch, Ron Wright, any of our top heels, almost any of our fans would boo them at the shows, but would have them over for dinner. Because they knew that Jimmy'd be entertaining. That Ron Wright, I don't like him, but I think he's funny. Hell, he can come over to my house. New Jack could have said, I'll come over and give you $1,000 cash. People wouldn't let him in their homes. And if they're not going to let you in your home, they're not going to watch on TV, and they're not going to buy a ticket to see you. So it wasn't even what Jimmy was telling them to do. It was just, unfortunately,
it was
their genetic makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was just the fact they were black guys. And they were a turnoff to people in that part of the country.
How long did the Gangstas last, actually, from beginning to end? And when did you sort of feel that they were becoming a detriment to ticket sales?
So they debuted at the Marietta show in April, and Jimmy brought them in full-time in July of '94. I want to say they were there. I don't even know if they were there quite a full year. I don't think they were there quite a full year. Because I went up to see them in ECW about a year later. That spring. It was Mick Foley's. It was Cactus Jack's last night in the ECW arena. We went up for that. And New Jack, they were on that card. I thought that was spring of '95 before Mick started with WWE. So they weren't there very long.
And how long did it take for you to realize that they were generating what they call the wrong type of heat?
It was the wrong kind of heat. Almost immediately. And the other thing, and this wasn't their fault, but I'm trying to explain, for Ricky and Robert as our top babyface act, they had to make every team they worked with. Tom Pritchard and Stan Lane were not an established team when they came in. Tom Lane and Del Rey weren't. Chris Candido and Brian Lee weren't an established team. Jack and Saeed were not an established team. Every time Ricky and Robert had to give up a little bit of their credibility to get somebody over, they kind of lost some of their luster. So that was another reason. That was just tough. That was in a can't-win position for New Jack, for the Gangstas. They just can't win because they're too new and not over, and nobody likes them.